Well, hello and welcome. It's Jamie is back.
What's up, y'all?
So it's been a while since I've been able to catch up with Jamie because I was away, as many of you know.
Never-ending holidays, Paul. That's why.
They're not holidays. They're researching and experiencing life, so I can bring my expertise to the audience.
Your expertise of what? Of life?
Of holidays.
Oh, okay.
Holidays during the COVID.
How was your vacation?
When we last, we were back from Iceland, weren't we? Then we went to Dubai.
That's it. Rub it in. How's everybody else getting on with COVID? Yeah. Life at home.
Life at home. Because you're referring to a lot of people who listen to you from the UK, of course. But the UK is doing pretty good at the minute. It seems to be getting things in grip. I thought the bars were open, somebody told me.
Yeah, I think you can have a beer outside now. I think they're about to open or something on the 19th.
That must explain why there's a big drop in our YouTube subscribers, because they're back outside.
So it is. I think it's probably just the fact that you went away on holiday for a long time. That's probably why.
Hey, we post regularly about ski topics. So what's been happening in good, bad Austria and Capron?
It's just, for me, work. Skiing occasionally, ski touring.
I hear the snow's been really good here.
Yeah, it's been a good finish to the season for us. A lot of snow coming towards the end. Temperatures stayed relatively low, like I said on the last vlogcast that we did. So perfect end of the season. Season pass finishes on Monday, I think. Yeah, the 3rd. But they've extended the summer pass, I think, until July or something like that.
We discussed this in a recent podcast as well. They're staying open this time.
Yeah, because I think the borders are going to... Sorry, Paul gives me a little slap every time I pull too far off the mic.
That's right, because he doesn't want to wear his headphones, which is fine. You don't need to wear the headphones.
Such beautiful little ears, that's what it is.
You know how to keep your mouth near the mic.
So yeah, they're going to extend the kind of the summer skiing period, I think, because borders are going to open up throughout Europe apparently, so people are going to be allowed to travel a little bit more, so they're going to try and, I think, just drum up some business to compensate.
The problem is, of course, is
the
season pass is finished, so it's relying upon people who might purchase either a summer card or go up, and that's not going to happen. You know, I think it's going to be, again, slopes will be very, very empty.
Yeah, I think for us or for myself and a few of my colleagues, that some of the trainers that work for SIA in the pre-season in October and stuff like that, it's worth us getting a summer pass, because it kind of, don't know why I took away the after eights there.
Too many after eights for Jamie. I took them away.
Yeah, so it kind of benefits us to get this summer pass now, because we can use it in October before the official season pass gets released for November. So it's cost effective for us to have it now.
No. They've changed it. They've changed now because the season pass in winter comes out really early as well now. So it's going to be very little benefit to having a summer pass.
So you're saying the company won't?
No, exactly. Anyway, you can see a podcast if you want about summer skiing and about skiing through spring, because I did do one with Andy as well. But here, obviously, as things are potentially opening and relaxing a little bit, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Our focus really is on Argentina still, in hoping that with the vaccine, etc., that there's still a possibility. It's difficult to say, and I think it'll be difficult to say till June before you'll really know one way or the other how summer skiing is going to be. We've seen obviously that corridor open between New Zealand and Australia only, for example, and of course we can discuss the potential. You know, people are asking, well, why don't you just do, for example, a glacier course here in summer? But as Jamie knows and I know, once you get into the early stages of July, it's the quality and it's
just not worth doing. There's such limited terrain, and you're not getting the SIA experience, if you like. That it's not just about your time on snow; it's about the whole full experience of the après as well, the time outside.
But if somebody was asking a question, Jamie, for example, because I do see there are potential courses in summer that people could do in Europe. What I'm pointing out is perhaps because people have never skied a glacier in Europe in summer, they probably don't know what they're getting into before they book that course and arrive in. Mm-hmm. And what are they getting into? What type of skiing is this?
You've probably
water skiing?
It's one water skiing after a certain point, but it's freeze thaw, so it's boilerplate, bulletproof, absolute solid ice, probably first thing, with the kind of grain of the rock coming through from the glacier to knock your equipment, and then after 10 o'clock, something like that in the morning, it's just pure slush, heavy, and I would say like almost
dangerous,
risky.
Yeah,
like on the lower runs, you've got that kind of that 4.5 challenge and so where all of a sudden the ski just rapidly de-accelerates because you hit a real wet patch of snow, which is
and I think you have to point out as well, it becomes uncomfortable from the clothing perspective. Like, what do you wear? You just don't know, because really you could be in a t-shirt.
Mankini. Literally, I go mankini every time. Just put it all out there early doors and. Yeah.
I mean, even that, you even see that when we've skied sometimes, Jamie, I think before we went to Argentina, just to be able to see it, we've skied every month. We went up in July, for example, and skied the glaciers in July. And it's like, as Jamie says, even the first runs are a bit like, they're just not the same experience on snow, are they? They just don't feel the same.
It's nice to be up there, but yeah, it's not. You're not. It's the like I described. It's slushy, wet, heavy snow. Which slushy snow can be good, but it's kind of that stop-starty, super sticky snow. And the only reason we went up was to say we've done 12 months of the year. We've been on snow, and we've skied in every month of the year.
Which is why we end up in Argentina. Let's face it, we end up there because it's their winter. It's their winter. It's proper snow. It's real snow. It's a real experience, and we will try and operate in.
Sorry. Give you a hit for your mic there.
No, it was in the way of my pretty face.
All right.
For those people who don't.
Let's put that back up there. Let's try and get a few more viewers. So he's
no, put my mic down. Why does he keep lifting it in front of my pretty face? So we will try and get to Argentina. We're obviously keeping our fingers crossed. We're keeping in touch with the government and making sure that we're doing everything we can to get out there.
I mean, it is a long way off as well. You could say, it's only a few months away, but a lot can change within a few months. Like Europe's talking about opening up now, so potentially, the travel over there could open us up for us. It's not till August 1st do we start, so we've got a good while, and we are very hopeful.
I mean, the biggest problem is there's from our logistical side that it's heavily booked. It's because obviously there are no summer courses anywhere else in the world out, in the southern hemisphere, and as a result, Argentina is heavily booked. It's going to be a massive course if it goes ahead. So that'll be difficult, planning the logistics, and obviously I'm going to have to be there.
You might have to stop taking holidays.
Well, no, I'll have to actually. What it means is I have to go to South America about the first week of July, just to get everything planned. To test the wine out.
Iguazu waterfalls, I
need to look at Iguazu waterfalls, and I need to check the glaciers, and I need to go into and check the stakes out and make sure they're all right this year for everybody.
The nice high quality hotels. And
check the hotels out. I'll do all that for everybody. I promise. And then I'll go on the slopes and check them out for you before you come out.
Thanks for taking one for the team.
I always do that. So that's our first focus, and then obviously if we then progress through from there, the next stage is to get to October, where we actually start this year about the 16th of October. We start this year because
2 days earlier.
Well, there's a combination of things. Reasons why, Jamie, is one is we always have our beginner booster camp, so people who are complete beginners who want to become a ski instructor. But secondly,
you'll be on the mountain with me.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily, because secondly, we've got the Japan lot, like people who want to work in Japan. They always have to come out earlier to get their exams done, so they can work in Japan from sort of the 1st of December.
Yeah, the official season starts a little earlier out there, doesn't it? So they like to have them over.
Yeah, to look at them.
Whereas here in Austria, it's so more mid to the first. Yeah, mid-December, kind of starting a ski school, a week of introduction, and then you start work for Christmas.
And I mean, you can see, especially because you're working in the office at the minute, Jamie, that the number of people who have already booked, I mean, we're just into today's the 1st of May. So the number of people that have already booked by the 1st of May is double what normally books by the 1st of May. So people are absolutely desperate to get out on their gap year, their sabbatical from work, or to do these ski things.
Obviously the world's opening up again. Everyone's excited and wanting to go off and do that gap year that they potentially missed last year. So bring it on. It's good for everybody.
It's going to be massive.
The bigger, the better. It just creates a better atmosphere and resort for us.
It'd be interesting
creates
because
more work for me trying to provide parties for that number of people.
From everything, it's almost like we jumped a season with everything. You've jumped a season even in, let's say, like the fashion of the colours and the what products and stuff. You know, how will the ski clothes adapt over 2 years? Because you're going from one type of ski
building
clothes
masks.
to building masks to you.
Might be there.
Because what Jamie's always ahead of the fashion. What were the colours this year?
I have no idea, Paul.
Exactly. So the colours last year were more like neutral, weren't they?
Neon pink. So
you went neon
I don't
pink.
know if that's cool or not, but you know,
you went old school.
Peacock the shit out of it every now and then. So
yeah, you definitely went old school because
I went back to my youth.
Or our uniforms that were brand new for this season that we never got to use. You can see them online where we're skiing are quite muted, I would say. Quite a muted and green and black.
We basically look like the military on the hill.
That's how I like it.
Like we're gonna fuck some shit up. So
yeah.
Now they're really nice. The new uniforms quality's very good. 2117 definitely recommend it as a brand.
Yeah, cool brand.
As far as
eco brand as well.
Yeah, it's eco-friendly, recyclable material. So it's a good forward step, I think, for SIA.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, so when we look at all the merchandise and product and that we had for this season, like completely wasted really, and we're going to be into next season. I think skis will be the same. Obviously, ski companies must have had a disaster.
Well,
that wouldn't have sold anything.
With going muted,
yeah, it fits everything.
Yeah, kind of. No matter the year, it always looks alright.
Black pants, white shirt.
Yeah,
type look. Yeah,
look like a waiter.
All life. So yeah, and I think everybody's itching for next season, and that's why Jamie was so like a lot of people skiing this year who would normally be teaching this year. You know, the lucky ones who managed to get out to some resorts. We were talking about this as well, where I see a lot of people have improved in their personal level of skiing because they've had time to themselves to do that. They've had months to do that as opposed to just 1 day a week and teaching the other 6 days.
I mean, I'm generally 1 day a week, so I don't really feel like my skiing's, you know, changed too much this season. But when I'm going up with the lads, the guys who be up there day in, day out, you can see a huge difference with their performance skiing because they're really going full gas all day, every day. But then we slowed it down the other day and did some plow parallel turns. And their kind of ski school skiing Schulafan more basic turns were a bit ropey because that's the missing that side of it.
Yeah, because who the hell's going to go up there and do that on days off?
Apparently. Yeah. But I was speaking to Ed the other day on the phone, and he was saying how he feels his skiing's a bit more ropey because he's missing teaching a lot.
Yes.
Doing the basic, you know, doing your exercise with your clients improves your own skiing. So he's saying like he's really missing that side of it. And I have to say, myself being office bound this season, I've really missed teaching, not just the social side of it, but actually, you know, just watching.
Because you learn when you teach, obviously, don't you? You learn as you're teaching.
Yeah, and you're trying to put your good demos out, so it's helping your motor skills and muscle memory.
It brought us to another topic that we were discussing on a podcast more with Andy, and it was about like the online that you're seeing at the minute, especially online coaching and stuff. And from that side, I was saying that there can be a benefit to it, but what people have to understand is what you do as a coach, Jamie, is that you understand where somebody's starting point is and where they need to go, let's say with a short turn. Whereas when they're just throwing things to stick at the wall, then maybe it's just talking about short turns in general, or saying these are exercises like a dolphin turn, a javelin turn, or whatever it might be, poles down the hill, but it might not be relevant to a certain person. So that's the trouble with online coaching.
I think when you're teaching your client, you're very much reactive as to how they take on board that information or a particular exercise. Maybe you might literally explain an exercise for a few minutes, you'll give it a go and you'll say, it's not right for them for now, or it's just not right for them. Let's go at it at a different angle. Whereas obviously with the online coaching, you kind of give them a one kind of fix, and then if it doesn't work, it could lead to frustration for the client because they feel like they can't do it. Whereas obviously if you're on the hill with them, you would just adjust how you're teaching or the exercise given regarding the feedback that you're getting back from the client.
So would you tell people to be a little bit cautious about seeing things online and, you know, an exercise online that they think, this is going to help my short turns, for example? Would you tell them to just be a little bit cautious about that, or would you say that it's fine to follow those type of instructions? Or
I think it depends. If you're a really high qualified ski instructor and you're just looking for new exercises to play about with for yourself, to maybe develop your skill sets, I think they can be really good, because you have an understanding of your body, an understanding of skiing and everything like that. I think if you are a more lower level, I think you do need an outside source to look at you personally.
Which is strange, because I did a podcast yesterday with somebody, Andy, and he said exactly the same straight away, that if you know what you're doing, then fine, you can use some of these resources because you understand. Whereas 98% of people, and no disrespect meant by that, they don't really know what they're doing. They ski 2 to 3 to 4 weeks a year maximum. You do need a bit of a reliance upon a coach who works with you, who communicates with you about your starting point, how you can progress from that point to the next level, as opposed to just randomly doing exercises that are online.
But I think that's a lot of people's experience at ski schools as well. You just go from exercise to exercise with no real explanation, understanding, or feeling of improvement with the exercise. And I think it's super important for me, really, as a coach, when I go out there, is to focus on one thing for that day, but just do it in many different ways so the client still.
But I would argue as well, Jamie, that what you do as well is you always, if you do an exercise, do 2 things. First of all, you're clear about the why.
Yeah, 100%. I want my client to leave with an understanding of the sport and where they can go from this, from where they're at and where they can go in the future. And on top of that, not only do you do that, you explain how it fits into their skiing, and you practice it as well. You don't just do a couple of runs. You'll build on it. You'll build on it. I won't make it to a point where it's boring or you feel like you're in a boot camp or whatever it is, or it's a military thing. But because of my sporting background with myself, I know it's practice or good practice makes permanent, or makes perfect. Sorry. So I think that the mass practice of something is so important. But I think to keep the mind going, you do have to maybe mix it up with different things, but that is taking them to the same point. You could just do one exercise or one explanation and stick with that the whole day, or you could do many different things with it, but you're going to be at the same place at the end of the day. You're going to have the same goal. You'll be focused on the same moving pattern, but just in a lot of different ways.
So as a lot of people haven't been able to ski, another thing we were discussing, Andy and I, Jamie, was the things like with indoor slopes, these continuous ski rollers and
the treadmill kind of things,
and all these sort of things. I mean, what's your opinion? Do you find them beneficial to people, or do you think it's just like pack your gear away and just wait till the snow and wait till you can start traveling again?
I worked in an indoor dome in Holland when I was over there for a short period for a summer or something, and it's not skiing. I've been in one in the UK as well. It is skiing in the sense of the sport of skiing, but the environment, you're in a giant fridge or freezer. The environment's not there. It doesn't have the same feel, the same energy, the amazing views, the freshest air you're going to breathe in, the same atmosphere, the same vibe. So it's not quite the same, but I think for a beginner to get a little touch of it, if the coach was good and not going to ingrain bad movements and bad habits, it can be a good thing, because you can come here already having the ability to link basic turns. And
but we were talking about this, and it's funny you said exactly the same again. It's like, even if you do the same podcast with different people, they say the same things. It's not the same ambience, obviously. But when you say about beginners, because we were discussing this and we were trying to work out, is it beneficial or not? Now, we came up with a result that it's beneficial to you if you then come to a resort and then you do some private. You do some private, because if you went into a beginner's group, you'd be twiddling your thumbs for the first 2 days thinking this is crap. And you can't go in the next group up because that would be too fast. So you're like really stuck in a horrible middle point.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how many lessons you've done within the indoor ski dome.
Would it ever get you spring up to that next level where somebody's already done a week on snow?
Again, if you think about what we would call a level 6 group would be beginners. When I worked at ski school, level 5 would be a person with a week's worth of experience. A level 5 group was harder than a level 6 group, because they just had it was the nervous group or those bad ingrained habits or whatever it is. So I think you could easily kind of step up to that group.
With a private, though, would you not then come and do a little private, then step up to that group?
Again,
that's what we sort of thought was best.
It's all down to your coach. If you've got a good coach within a group, he can work with all the clients with the slight differentials of levels within that one group and make it work.
Yeah, but you got to remember, beginners are basically walking around in circles, sidestepping uphill, and that guy's already using a lift, going up and down T-bars or whatever.
So you would either need to go in the group above if you would fit, or you would need a private. Yeah. But I think that's the key: is don't just think, oh, I can get down this piste in this indoor ski dome. Now I'm safe and fine. Come on holiday and go skiing for yourself. I would definitely recommend lessons. But I think that's why you do get such good, or you do get a lot of repeat business in this industry if you are a good instructor, is because the trust's there. You're introducing, you're slowly baby stepping.
Yeah, you're not putting people in a dangerous or unsafe position.
As long as you ski for the client at their level, they're always gonna, I think, trust in you. Whereas I think a lot of young instructors kind of ski for themselves during a working day a little bit, which then puts the clients off a little bit because the terrain's for the instructor as opposed to for the client. But I would always recommend lessons. It's just trying to find that good instructor within the resort that you're going to, or there's multiple instructors that are good.
Because often with beginners, they end up with the lower level instructor who's younger, as opposed to that more mature guy who's been around a bit.
I think age isn't an issue for me personally. I came into the industry when I was 22, and I would say I did a very good job with the clients that I got, the beginner groups. So I don't think the age is relevant, because then I look at the.
But it sometimes can be hard to communicate at 22.
Maybe it depends.
To somebody who's 50.
It depends on your background, I think, and what you've done in life. So I just think you should. Yeah, we shouldn't say age. It is a number. As you told your partner who's much younger than you when you first started dating him. So actually, you lied about that as well, didn't you? So it definitely is a number. So yes, I mean, I think I win the argument on that one alone, don't I? That it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. It's the content that you bring to the lesson.
Yes, it's the content you bring also to the relationship. Yeah, that's exactly. Important as well. You've definitely got this mic in front of my face today, Jimmy. I'm going to have to move it so people can see me. So it's COVID to the side. The season's going to change next year. There's going to be some opening up, and I think people are itching, really to get out there and can't wait.
I think for the likes of your Kitchstein Hole, the local mountain here and stuff like that, the glacier, I think everybody's wanting to get back to where we were before COVID. Obviously, they're an industry, they're a business, so they want to go back to making a profit after, I guess, a huge loss this season. But I think there will be changes in a sense. I think the masks are still going to be worn next season.
I'm going to wear them anyway. I'm just going to wear them for the rest of my life. I've not had a cold all year. Honestly, I've not had no flu, cold. It's great.
When you're on holiday, you just you're relaxed all the time, no stress. It is, that's probably why. I
told you, COVID's been great.
But, I've currently got a cold. Don't need to socialise. So hopefully, I've passed it over to you.
Oh, great.
But I think everybody's itching to get back to normal. But I think there will be some things still in place that were there this season for next season. I do think the masks are still going to be worn on the hill, or at least some kind of face covering when you're in busy queues. I think people will naturally probably do that anyway, just with a little bit of worrying that COVID could come back. But yeah, everybody's definitely itching to get back. I'm itching to get to Argentina. I'm desperate to get there. I can't wait. I absolutely love that course. Fingers crossed for Argentina, and then after that, I'm looking to that course right now, not looking past it, and then once I hit that course, I'll start looking forward to the next season here in Austria.
Well, hey, it's been a good catch-up. We've had a bit of a catch-up there. We've had a bit of a chat. We'll hope to see you again on our next one. Anything to add, Jamie?
Stay safe out there, folks.
Stay safe out there. Bye for now.
Take it easy.